I did not like Player. I fucking fell in love with it. Player Manhwa is some of the most beautiful and action-packed series I've read this year, and truth be told, I almost dropped it. I naturally just could not get into it, but then the series did something truly exceptional. It showed me great writing, something that other manhwas really do not have. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Solo Leveling. The characters are some of the most stunning, the power system is something straight out of a video game, and the character designs are some of the best that I've ever seen in manhwa. But the series does something truly incredible. The thing is, the art looks insane, but not just the art. The characters and their development are something that I haven't seen in a very long time. The paneling is some of the best in the genre, and you know what? Yeah, I might glaze the series a lot, but it's worth a shot. Hyeon, your regular average manhwa high school student. He really does not have anything going for him. Between being bullied and having no life outside of school, his only form of enjoyment comes from reading his favorite popular webtoon. One day, while reading the final fight between the main character Dean and the first ranker Nagi, Dean suffers a critical blow and unfortunately loses this fight to Nagi. Hyun, reading this, is extremely upset, scoffs even, comments that he can do better than Dean. This catches the eye of a mysterious man named Arthur, who is looking for enjoyment, unbeknownst to Hyun. Arthur uses this to his advantage by transporting him to his world called Player, where he is told to live out the fantasy of his dreams. He is given a person who can turn into a weapon named Excalibur, but he decides to call her Lieber for short, and is told to become a player, a person who's aiming for the #1 rank spot. He agrees, and together they set off on a adventure, becoming the #1 player while also exploring this new world and figuring out what he truly wants. At first, this manhwa starts off as any other series. Hyun is not enjoying current life and gets sent into another world by a god of all things, in this boring and uninteresting area, with these characters that do not seem like they're not a lot going for them development wise, even to the point I truly begin to think that this was just another generic series. And then I saw the town and knew something was different. The world building alone showed me that I was in for a treat. The Heavenly Arena Terranium, the place that takes place for some of the story, is something that is a lot, and my goodness, the environment itself. I know I do not talk about the setting in a lot of other series, but this was truly something unique. The players themselves and the environment felt so lived in. People's stories felt so real. They felt truly alive and personal, especially when Hyun meets one person in particular, the guardian of the Heavenly Arena, Ran. He is the protector of this town and gives us our first look into what makes this series different from other manhwas. Ran hates Hyun due to being such a spineless person. He has no drive, no conviction, nothing at all that fits him of becoming a player, even being considered a coward. Hyun wants to understand why he feels this way. While Ran's on patrol, they stumble into some kids who hate him to see if the child is alright. The other children that this kid was playing with are upset at him for bumping into Ron. This leads to Hyun asking a simple but yet effective question. Why did you become a player? Ron explains he wants to protect the city, not only from evil but also to protect the ones who cannot protect themselves. Hyun explains he does not really understand this reasoning until the city is under attack. Ron, without a second thought, comes to the rescue, fighting off the people responsible for this, while on the other side of town, Hyun starts to help protect the citizens while evacuating others. He runs into one of the other players that he met at the entrance exams, who is after him because of the item he possesses, a smartphone. One of the children from earlier tries her best to get everyone away from the fires, and ends up coming across this mysterious player trying to kill her. Luckily, Hyun saves her, and decides to fight this mystery person head-on with Lieber in his hands. After dealing a substantial damage and blow to this mysterious person, he reveals himself as Mazlaka and decides to flee the scene. Ron comes to the realization that he wants to protect this city, but he cannot do it alone. He must get stronger for the ones that cannot fight. He enlists Hyun to train in order to make him a better fighter for the final exam coming up. So you're asking yourself, why the heck should I care? Ron's character shows something that is not present in a lot of other series, a great motive and a desire to get stronger in order to protect those. And his reasoning and conviction behind his reasonings is not just that, but it's also the realization that he needs help. All of this takes place in 5 chapters. This is just one example of many that the series really excels at. Even wanting me to continue on to see what will happen, it hooked me as soon as it happened. It showed me that this one was truly different, that I would personally say personally extremely well done is its art. I know I've talked about it, but look at the art. But look at all of the art. The panels, the spreads, the character designs, the colors, the action, the emotional moments. This allows the series to excel in possibly more ways that I could ever imagine. Taking a scene that 100 to over 1,000% more dramatic, and it makes it look even better. Scenes hit harder than ever before. The art is something that you would find straight out of a comic book and is done amazingly. The emotion that each character has, you can feel the anger, see the sadness, feel the betrayal, and feel the happiness. And then, especially when the moments hit, they hit you in ways you could never see coming. The spreads are extremely detailed, colorful, and overall beautiful, that you could easily spend hours just looking at all the effort, each and every one of them telling their own story. The character designs for themselves speak volumes. The care that the artist takes for each design, from Arthur to Libra to Kim Tae-won to Hyun himself, all of them have extremely noticeable colors. Hyun's colors are all blue, while Libra's colors are all yellow, which is a complementary color to the both of them, due to yellow working as well with blue and blue working extremely well with yellow. In most ways, characters could never measure up, especially in Manhwa and a lot of other series. They both have great chemistry, and their colors resemble that. Kim Tae-won's color, for example, is white, represents ever-adapting ability. Each of the colors they possess match their personalities, powers, in more ways than one. It's just a masterclass of art that you really have to pay attention to or you'll miss it. Players started out with something that I initially found uninteresting, mundane, boring, and at times generally unengaging. However, as I continued reading and progressed further into the story, the more I discovered that it offers so much more complexity, richness, that I generally do not want to spoil for you guys. It demonstrates a tremendous amount of care, attention to detail, showcasing amazing and nuanced character development, as well as an extremely detailed power system that are thoughtfully constructed. I strongly encourage anyone who comes across this series and found themselves on the fence about whether it's a good series to read to give it a genuine chance, because it delivers not only just high octane action and spectacular fight sequences, but also a well thought out, layered, and complex story that rewards a careful attention to detail. It is absolutely worth your time and investment. The villains alone are some of the most fleshed out and compelling antagonists in Manhwa, developed to such a point where I can genuinely see and understand why some readers would sympathize with some of their actions and motives. This series has so many unexpected twists, surprising turns, and a narrative shift to keep you constantly on your toes and engaged throughout the entire reading experience. The entire read from beginning to end is something that absolutely no one should overlook or dismiss. The immense amount of love, admiration, and appreciation that I have for this series is something that is far more deserved than what most series will ever achieve or receive. If there's any manhwa you should absolutely check out and look out for this year, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Player.